Let's talk about a critical shift that's happening in AI right now. We're moving past the obsession with just raw power, with just foundation models, and into something much more strategic. What we might call an architecture of supremacy. This is a whole new framework for building a real, lasting advantage. This sentence right here, this is the entire ballgame. For the last couple of years, everyone's been glued to the model leaderboards, right? But that's yesterday's news. The real competition, the one that actually matters, is happening on a completely different level.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the race you just can't win anymore. Then we'll lay out the new rules of the AI game. We're going to break down this architecture of supremacy piece by piece, look at how you can build your own competitive moat, and finally, I'll tell you a bit about the strategists behind these ideas.
All right, let's dive into this race. You know the one I'm talking about, the constant debate over whether GPT-4 is better than Gemini, or where Llama fits in. And look, a year or two ago, that conversation made sense. But now, it's completely missing the point.
The entire battlefield has shifted. It's like everyone was watching this heavyweight title fight between a few big models, but the real war moved to a whole new arena, system competition. It's not about raw intelligence anymore. It's about AI agents, full-on workflow automation, and AI-native products that actually get the entire job done.
Because let's be honest, as a user, you don't really care about the billions of parameters or the complex model weights under the hood. You care about the result. Did the AI complete the task? Did it generate that report? Did it save you hours of work? The real value is always in the outcome. And since the game has changed, we need a new playbook. We need a new formula for what it actually takes to win in this new era of AI. It's not about having the single smartest model anymore. It's about building the most effective, most complete system. And here it is. This is the new rulebook. It's a formula, and it's multiplicative. Model power times orchestration times user experience times your own proprietary data. Every single part of this is a critical multiplier. This is the fundamental takeaway. It's a massive paradigm shift. Winning is no longer a game of model supremacy. It's a game of system design supremacy. It's not just about raw power. It's about thoughtful, intelligent architecture. So let's actually break this architecture down. We're going to deconstruct each of these four components to really understand the role each one plays in building a dominant AI system.
Here's the high-level view. Your model, that's the engine. It provides the baseline horsepower. Orchestration is like the transmission in the drivetrain. It turns that raw power into a complex, multi-step execution. The UX, your user experience, that's the steering wheel and controls. It determines whether anyone can actually use it. And finally, proprietary data. That's your unique fuel that no one else can get.
Let's zoom in on orchestration, because this is where so much of the magic happens. Think of it as the execution layer. It's what takes the model's raw output, a single idea, and connects it with external tools, runs it through loops, and automates processes to produce a finished, structured piece of work. For example, a simple model might summarize one article for you. That's fine. But an orchestrated system? It goes out and gathers 10 different sources, analyzes the trends across all of them, compares the signals, generates a polished report, and then saves it in a specific format for you. One gives you an answer, the other completes a task. Of course, even the most brilliant orchestration is worthless if people can't use it. And this brings us to UX, and this really crucial shift in thinking from just prompting an AI to truly delegating a task to it. So what is the real difference here? The words might sound similar, but the gap in capability is absolutely massive. It's the difference between being a micromanager and being an effective leader who can hand off an entire outcome.
See, when you're prompting, the burden is on you. You have to manage the context, you have to iterate by hand, you have to keep asking questions to get to what you want. But when you're delegating, you flip that completely. The system manages the whole process, it iterates on its own, and you simply define the final outcome you're looking for.
And this example just says it all. Asking what happened in AI this week is one thing, but delegating, create my weekly AI newsletter, formatted and ready to publish, that is a completely different level of leverage. It's the difference between an assistant that can answer questions and an agent that can actually do your work for you.
So, how does all of this come together to give you a real, lasting competitive advantage? This is where we talk about building a moat, a real defense against your competitors.
A winning AI product isn't just one of these pieces. It's the seamless integration of all four. The model gives you the intelligence, orchestration gives you execution,
UX drives adoption, and your proprietary data provides context that nobody else has. They all have to lock together to form a complete, powerful system.
And I really have to stress this point again, the formula is multiplicative. It is not additive. You could have the most powerful model in the world at 10 out of 10, but if your user experience is a 0, if it's unusable, then the total value of your system is 0. A weakness in any one area craters the entire thing.
And that leads us to the ultimate conclusion. In a world where all the top models are getting closer and closer in capability, the only durable, long-term advantage you can build, the deepest moat, is superior system design. That's the real competition now.
So, you might be wondering, where did this powerful framework come from? Well, this architecture of supremacy comes from the strategic thinking and real-world experience of Max Schau. Max is an executive AI leader who's actually in the trenches architecting these very kinds of autonomous systems. His expertise is right at that critical intersection where hands-on AI execution meets high-level executive strategy. He's turning these concepts into real-world applications, which is why his perspective cuts right through the hype. For anyone building in this space, his work is definitely worth a follow if you want more of these kinds of insights on AI strategy and execution. And so I'll leave you with this question to take back to your team. In this new era of AI, are you still focused on the old race, just building models? Or are you focused on the race that actually matters, architecting complete, defensible systems? Because the answer to that question will define the winners and losers of the next decade.